Hey, what's up guys? My name is Daniel, and it's very important that you guys always wear protection on the airsoft battlefield. So what we're going to be doing today is going over a lot of the protective gear that I personally use on the airsoft battlefield. So I just picked up some new gloves that I absolutely love, but we're also going to cover the boots I wear, the knee pads, and also my face setup. So let's jump into the gear. Now the first thing I want to cover are the new gloves that I just picked up. We just got these gloves in at airsoftgi.com, and these are the new P.I.G gloves. So these are designed specifically to give you maximum flexibility and dexterity. Now I've been playing airsoft for quite some time, and I have never actually purchased a set of gloves specifically for airsoft until now. Once I tried these gloves out, I immediately fell in love with them. Number one, they are definitely one of the lightest gloves on the market. They are also extremely thin, and that was one of my gripes with some of the other gloves out there, is that if they're too thick, I feel like I cannot manipulate the weapon of the magazine change or the bolt catch as easily. But because these gloves are so thin and it's hard to really relay over video, I have great control over anything I'm doing. They're also extremely breathable and very flexible, that when I played at Code Red last Saturday, we actually just put up some gameplay footage of that day. I wore the gloves the entire day except for lunch because they were so comfortable and great to use. Now this glove is definitely designed more for a minimalist style setup, which is definitely my style. There is no hard knuckle padding over the knuckles, but it is well padded, so if you were to get shot, it would absorb a lot of the impact. It's also very well thought out. So this glove specifically is the Alpha Touch, a variation of the P.I.G gloves. What that means is I can use my phone through the gloves, and I can still text or Instagram or anything else I want, which is something I definitely like doing. So now there are two other details that were really well thought out about these gloves that I really like. Number one, on the left and right side, right above your thumb, there is this very soft material, almost similar to like a microfiber cloth, that is really nice for just wiping your face. You get sweat and you got a lot of stuff in your eyes, and it's just really comfortable to try to wipe and clean off your face. Or the other thing that I found very easily is if I have dust or stuff on my goggles, I can actually wipe it without having to worry about scratching it up too much. The other thing that I also like are these little pull tabs, which just make it easier to get the gloves on and off. Alright, so now let's jump into the face protection. This by far is the most important aspect of any airsoft game, because you guys want to be safe out there and make sure you guys don't get hurt. So always wear eye and face protection when playing any airsoft game. Alright, so for my specific setup, I'm going to start with the lower face mask. This is going to be the Hakkotsu hardened lower face mask that I really like. It has some ups and also some downs to using this specific mask. Some of the things that I really like about this mask is that it's a hardened protection, it's very flexible, and I can aim down my sights with no problem whatsoever. That's probably the biggest reason why I decided to use this face mask. But some of the downsides is it's definitely not as breathable as a lot of the mesh masks out there. A lot of people ask me why I don't use the mesh mask, and that's because they don't fit to my face, and I just haven't taken the time to mold it to fit me better. So I've been using this face mask for quite some time, and it works really well. The other downside is when communicating with your teammate, I do need to yell a little bit louder because it's muffled, but that's okay because I'm generally a loud person anyway. So now moving on to the eye pro, I've personally been using the Lancer Tactical CA231B goggles for quite some time. This is actually my third pair because I've used the other pair so much that they do tend to get scratched up. I also like it because I have very little fogging issues, and they're also very affordable. This goggle set is only $11.05, so if I need a replacement, that's not a big deal. This mask setup is actually only $8, so for my eye and face protection that I really enjoy, it's only $20 or less. Now the other reason that I use these two is because between the two they mesh up extremely nicely, where there are no gaps between the goggles and the lower face mask, which maximizes the protection, which is extremely important on the airsoft battlefield. Now the last piece of headgear that I wear is this Condor Tactical Cap. This is a very basic cap with Velcro in the front, which I have an American flag with, America, and I wear that specifically with the goggles and the lower face mask because the bill, when put backwards like this, keeps these straps from slipping down, so I can run and jump, and I never have to worry about the goggles or the face mask slipping down or off my face because the bill of the cap here keeps it all exactly where I need it to be all game long. Alright, now moving on to my knee pads, I personally use the Hatch X-Tac knee pads in tan. I've been using these knee pads for at least the last 2 years, this same set here, and they're still working great. A couple reasons why I love these knee pads is number one, they're a little bit smaller. I'm not the biggest guy out there, so these knee pads work for me really well. The other thing that I really like is that they're already angled towards the shape of my knee, so they actually stay in place a lot better. Now, one of my other favorite things about these knee pads is the ease of use. With the straps here, there's actually a quick attach and detach buckle like you see there. So I only had to adjust the Velcro one time when I picked it up, and then after that, it just clips on and off very nicely. Alright, so the last thing I want to go over are the boots that I use. These are the Under Armour Val Set boots. Now, don't worry, this boot is actually not mine. This is Bob's personal boots, so me and Bob both use these boots because we like them so much. He's actually the one that kind of talked me into them, and one of the reasons is because they're so comfortable and they're so lightweight. It's really hard to describe over camera once again of what these boots are like, but I would describe them as a hybrid between a hiking boot and a running boot. They are also extremely lightweight, where the boots are coming in at under a pound each. So I've been using these boots now for about 2 months and I absolutely love them. I've used a lot of different tactical boots in my airsoft career, from anything from Marine Corps steel-toed boots. I've used standard boots and a couple other boots. These are by far my favorite boots, a little bit more expensive, but I would highly recommend checking them out. So if you guys are interested in these boots or any of the other gear that I covered today, be sure to check them out on airsoftgi.com. Remember guys, it's always important to always use protection on the airsoft battlefield. So guys, my name is Daniel, this is GI TV, and always, thanks for watching.